Hello, my Resinnets. Good to see you here. Let's talk cups. Um, Measuring cups and mixing cups. Now, as you can see, all of these cups here you can actually mix anything on any of these cups. You can use for mixing. Now, for measuring, I'm going to tell you now, forewarn you, be careful what you order. Make sure that you read and understand what you're ordering. And I'll tell you why from the experiences that I've had with some of these cups, that, especially the small ones. Now, remember, the small ones are regularly used for small projects. And of course, the larger ones for larger projects. Because I use this one for my, excuse me. I use this one for my pyramids, as well as these here, the large ones. And I love using measuring cups because you can actually measure if it's a big project, the cups, the actual 1 cup or half a cup or whatever, a third, and the measuring spoons, which are great to do it. If you're doing like a small project and you don't need a lot of resin, then you can use a little one, the quarter spoon, and especially if you have a resin, an epoxy resin that deals with a ratio, a 1 to 2. I mean a 1 to 1 or a 1 to 2. Then these are great for that, man. These here, right here, I love them. And these cups here, I love these cups as well. As you can see, they're not clear, so there's no way, unless you put it towards the light and you put a mark on it, you'll never know how much you have to put in. But these are great, though. They're great once you do use them as a mix it and then pour. These are great, But I can't salvage these as much as I can the other ones. Because you have to save on cups. The cups are not really cheap. When you start adding it up, they're not really that cheap, So just salvage some of them if you can, by cleaning them really well right after using them. But these here I do not use for measuring at most of the time, because there's nothing to see. You can't see. I actually have to put it. Towards the light to measure, to make a line and actually measure, and make sure that I use, if you're using the epoxy resin, that you're using part 1, you measure up to that, and then you have to take another cup. Wow, okay, these are good. Take another cup and measure the second part of it, and then on the third cup, mix them together or mix them with the 2 cups. I usually mix them both together in a separate cup, and making sure that you clean it out really well. This is why these here I use for scraping, for scraping the inside of the cup. And these I use for mixing, for actual mixing. I use the short ones for the short one, for these short ones here, and the long ones for the longer or taller cups. Okay, the reason why, I have a little theory of my own. See, this is circular. Okay, all of your cups here are circular. So this is why I use this one for stirring, and then these for scraping. They do a really good job when you're scraping. And you notice I'll use different size, different types, depending on the cups that I'm using. So I'll use different types to scrape. These are great for scraping. I use them all the time, for scraping. These are also great for scraping. and for applying. And some people just, on the small projects, they enjoy using just a toothpick. But keep toothpicks handy. They're really handy. I mean, really handy. Okay? Another measuring method is a level spoon. I use level spoon when it's not a huge project, but I'm using the smaller cups. I'll use the spoon. For mixing, these are great for mixing at the dollar store. I think you get 6 of them for $1. So those are great. All right. Now this cup here, I need to mention this. Whatever you do, they're very, very thin, by the way, and I mean very thin. I have 2 of them in here, and it doesn't look like it, right? But never, never, never use heat on these cups. If you're mixing epoxy resin, I'm not talking about UV, but if you're mixing epoxy resin, do not use any heat on it, because this will melt in your hands. Okay? So again, watch what you order, okay? Read very, very well. Read the instructions. Now, on watching what you order, I wanted to mention these. So I want you to see the difference, though. Because, again, watch what you order. The print on this one is very dull. The print on this one is not. Okay, they're 2 different cups, 2 different brands from 2 different companies. So be careful what you order as far as those go. Okay, these are great for mixing. I do not like this color. I'm not a pink person, you know what I'm saying? Okay, some people love pink. Okay, congratulations. That's lovely. Not that I don't use pink. I do use pink, but I'm just saying I'm not a pink person. These are great. They come with the kits, with some of the kits that you order, and these are great for mixing. Again, I always mix with these here. I always mix. Again, because my theory is it's round. They're round, okay? They're round. When you're stirring, you're going to realize that as you start stirring your resin, okay? Now let's go. Oh, by the way, this is a medicine cap, and it is delightful. The only thing I don't like about this is what I'm going to mention in a second, which has to do with your grading. Okay? So let's go to that grading. Now, these are 3 different types of cups. The first one here, as you can see, the grading on here, the grading is inside. So when I stir, the gratings are interrupting my stirring, so it creates bubbles. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. This is a different brand that has less gratings. Let me show you both of these. This one has 1, 2, 3 gratings, which is great because you could use the tablespoons, ounces, and the milligrams, okay? This one here has only 1 grating. But again, it's on the inside. And then the inside of the cup has little niches on it that also interrupt your stirring. This one also has niches in it that interrupt your stirring. I mean, I learned from it really quick because I kept saying to myself, are these the same cups I originally ordered? And I found out that no, they were not. And when I found out which ones are really the good ones, and I just kept purchasing that. And this is the one that's a good one. This one has 1, 2, 3 gratings, okay? And the grating marks are on the outside. Can you hear it? I don't know if you could hear it. They're on the outside, not on the inside, and there is no notch on the inside to interrupt your stirring at all. So it limits the bubbles, which to me, it's very important. No matter what, talking about spoons, I use these spoons too for measuring. You get some of these in a kit. Especially this you'll get in a kit, but oh, lordy, lordy. Excuse me. I use medicine, these also medicine cups for it. This has no grading, but it does have a line up on the top, so that's how I measure it. I'll just measure it, the part 1, and then pour it, and then I'll pour part 2, and then I'll put it in, whatever the case may be. However you want to measure it, however it is that you're going to measure it. And then this, of course, like I said, for big projects. These here, believe it or not, this little mountain here, this tower, I use it for balancing. I squeeze it down, it is balanced. I use my little leveler, excuse my arm. I'll use my leveler to find out where on the table I can put it where it's level. I'll go around the table until I find out where it's level. And then once it's level, what I do is, if I'm using the small cups, let's say, I'll take the small cup and make sure that the embossing is facing the other way. You'll see why if you try it. And then I'll go ahead and I'll put my cup up here. But before you put your cup up there, do you notice that none of these little cups, when you fill it, there's no way that you can tell because everything looks invisible, right? So what I do is, check this out. I'll take sandpaper, and let's say I wanted to do tablespoons, okay? I want to do 1 tablespoon. What I do is I take the sandpaper, I sand where it says 1 tablespoon, you know, the notch where it says 1 tablespoon. And then I take my pen, make sure you get one of these pens, the one that says Ultra Fine Point Sharpie. And what I do is I'll take the pen, I'll mark the area, and voila, you've got a little spot there where when you put it up here, I don't know if you can see it, let me put it this way. When you put it up on your little tower, you know, these are just suggestions, it's up to you. You can do it any which way you want. But for me, this is convenient, and then I'll have the tower with the little marking on it, and I can go ahead and pour my my resin. Okay, I'm going ahead of myself because right now I'm covering both UV and epoxy resin. But this is because I do both. So the projects that we're going to start doing together, experimenting on, will be with UV resin first, and then we can go into the epoxy resin, okay, so that you can learn about that and perhaps choose which one of the two is better for you, that you feel more comfortable with. You know, not everybody feels comfortable with UV resin because of the smell. Ugh. Anyway, or the epoxy resin. I prefer working personally with the epoxy resin. But this is like a little tutorial, or yeah, a little class on what to get. The one thing I didn't say on the last video, which I would like to mention now, of things that you need in your little space, definitely get these. These are the silicone pads. This is marvelous. This is marvelous. It not only protects, but it cleans so easily. So easily. See, with my marble, to really clean it well, I'd have to use a one-edge razor, go through the whole table to remove anything, any residue, to just clean it off, and then wipe it well, and then this would be perfect back in its stage. But since I've been using this pad, it's marvelous because I don't have to do really anything to it. Things can be removed with alcohol, okay? So it's easy carrying pad. And Amazon has two of them for, I think two of them for, I think the price is $5 or $6. And then they also have the three set for $8. So it's up to you, you know. I mean, start small, man. Start small. Or if you can get a baking sheet, a cheaper baking sheet from Michael's or anywhere else that's made of silicone, then use that. That is the best thing to do on your little space, so that you'll be able to take care of it and it won't look messy all the time, and it's easy to clean and take care of. Okay? So this is about the cups. All right? We will be talking about the buddies. Let me see if I have my little thing here. I don't want to damage anything. The buddies are a tacky. I use tiles for curing for UV resin, but the tacky. I'll show you what the tacky's like. Let me just bring one out real quick. These are what I do is I apply the tacky. This is called the buddies, but I apply the tacky here, and then I can put the open bezel on here. It'll stay there no matter which way you turn it, and then you can start with your bezel. The one issue about these, the tackies and the glue pads, they're wonderful when you use them for your first project, but any kind of heating on it, doesn't melt it at all. But the heating itself, when you're using it over and over again on the little pad, it reduces the strength of the pad, so you'll have to replace it. Okay, you have to replace it. So just keep that in mind, you know. But these are fabulous. I love these. But when we get to this, I'll show you some other items that you can use that you might have at home that are tacky, and you can use them for your open bezels, you know, which is fabulous. All right. But anyway, that's what I do. I do what the regular that everyone does also with just the tape, but and I do it this way because I can turn it around any which way I want. Now this piece from the back came from the dollar store. Let me explain. The dollar store had sheets like this. They're large sheets, almost the size of this pad down here, but large sheets that are meant for chopping vegetables and stuff like that. Well, I took that and I cut it up, and this is fabulous. You can put anything on it and you can clean it. Easy cleaning, and no big deal. You can put it in apply heat on it, whatever, nothing happens. So if you can get that at the dollar store, by all means, please do, because this I put in Mothership over there. I don't know if you can see Mothership, but Mothership is right here. Well, I didn't have the alarm on, but Mothership is right here. She likes to open her mouth. You can see she opens her mouth. Oops, I have some buddies in there. I got buddies in there. But anyway, just thought I'd bring these up to you so that you can be aware of what's available, or what you can even use if you have it at home. Okay? Do keep towels that are lint free. because uh, everything, and I'm talking about, because I reuse these over and over again, everything that, see, like this one, I didn't use a lint-free brush, and so the what happens is you clean it and it's clean, but it's leaving lint all over the damn thing, you know. So it gets to the point where you might have to get rid of it earlier than you would like to. But I try to salvage as much as possible. Even these cups, as soon as I pour or I do whatever, I actually clean the inside and then add alcohol and then clean it even further so that I can use it for the next project. So I try to use the same cup that I start with is what I like to end with when I do the 2 or 3 projects. You know, as long as the small projects, you know, the bigger ones, these are harder to salvage. You know, because sometimes you just can't get deep inside of it. I'll show you this one, because this is one that I tried salvaging, but you can't. Do you see the dullness on here? I mean, it is frickin' dull. And then you're afraid to mix anything in there because you don't know if what's in it already attached to the walls of this cup will attach to the resin that you're putting in there. So I don't salvage them. You know, I salvaged this one just for this video, but I'm not into salvaging these. But again, I'll use the cup for as many projects as I'm doing on that day because of that reason, just to salvage, you know, whatever I can. Because this does get a little expensive, you know, and some of us just can't. We just can't. So we try to do it the best way that we can. Okay. So that was it for the cups today. Love you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe so that you won't miss what's coming up on this, because the next one will be the I'm going to try to get to the resins, the UV resin that I've tried, and maybe you have tried it, and you can give me your opinion on it, you know, because my experience with the product may be totally different from your experience with the product. So I would love that. I would love that. So I will show you the ones that I've been using, the ones that are having more of fluidity, and whatever. And then you guys can share yours with mine, if you have them. And if you're experts, my God, I don't mind any suggestions or advice from anyone. Okay, from anyone. So there you go. Wait for the next one. The next one, I believe, if I can cover, I won't cover tools, but the next one will be the resins. I'll just cover the resins on the next one. Okay? Love you guys. Okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.